The MAGA fault line seems to be widening from a fracture into a Grand Canyon-sized chasm after President Trump called the very MAGA supporters who reelected him stupid and foolish for refusing his demand to back off the Epstein files. It was former Trump confidant Elon Musk who dragged conspiracies of an alleged secret Epstein client list back into the mainstream spotlight. He posted again overnight and reacted to the president's calling it all a hoax, a complete 180 to what he's been suggesting for years. And it is Musk's so-called free speech remake of X that is now feeding the theories and the MAGA divide because of them. Just listen to how some of the most vocal MAGA loyalists are now breaking with the president.
If you talk about this, I'm going to excommunicate you. Well, you're not the Pope, bro. I mean, you're not speaking from the throne ex cathedra.
Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
I mean, we're getting flooded with thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments that are very unhappy about this. President Trump was elected primarily to go after the deep state. We want to go after the deep state.
It seems like you think your base is stupid. That's how I feel. I feel like Trump thinks his base is stupid.
Bringing this into the public arena was President Trump. That's a matter of historic record.
Okay, much to discuss. Here with me now, MSNBC's senior enterprise reporter Brandy Zadrozny and former Republican congressman from Florida, Carlos Curbelo. Guys, we just heard Benny Johnson say it there. Trump himself fueled the Epstein controversy. Brandy, how's the base now reacting to President Trump calling them foolish and stupid for falling into what he said a Democratic hoax?
They are not happy. They are so not happy. I've never seen them like this, actually. The closest I've seen, and some people have even been referencing it, is that they feel like it's when Hillary Clinton called them the basket of deplorables during the campaign. It was really just talking about their character, who they were. And for these MAGA faithful, they are fighting this ultimate fight between good and evil, behind a deep state, behind a cabal. I mean, these are the sort of ways that the GOP and the MAGA base have sort of formed who they are as a group. And so for Trump now to call them stupid, to call them weaklings, it's just been a real slap in the face. And you see a come to Jesus moment like you just showed. I was watching Alex Jones way too late last night, and I've never seen this before. I don't know how you come back from that, and neither do these people. I think they're sort of trying to figure out how they can possibly ever trust Trump again. He's done it before. Let's see if he gets out of this somehow. But right now, it's cratered the movement.
I think he's always thought if he says it, eventually people will believe it. So he's tried to create their reality by just saying something over and over and over again. And yet you have even Steve Bannon saying, quote, the real question is about who really governs us. If this cover-up continues, 10% of the MAGA base will walk away, lose them now, and we lose 40 seats in 2026 and the presidency in 2028. And that's a quote from Steve Bannon. Congressman, is the situation really this dire, do you think? Who would these angry MAGA loyalists turn to?
It's a very serious situation, Anna, for a couple reasons. Number one, I do think that the MAGA base will follow Trump on policy wherever he goes. The reason this is different is because this contradicts who Donald Trump has shown his base to be since he erupted into the political scene in 2015. Donald Trump has been the ultimate anti-establishment figure. And in this case, for the first time, his base perceives that he is defending the establishment, that he isn't the guy out there saying, let's declassify everything. For example, let's get to the bottom of the whole JFK mystery, right, and the assassination. Let's put all the information out there. That's who Donald Trump has always been. That's why his base is so passionate, because they feel that he has always been on their side and not on the side of the establishment and the elites. So the truth is they don't really have anyone else to turn to for now. We know Elon Musk would like to fill that role, but that seems like it would be a stretch for the base to get there. But the reason this matters, Anna, is because we're living at a time in our politics where both parties rely heavily on their bases to get elected. You don't hear too many politicians reaching out toward the center. If the Republican base, the MAGA base, is depressed, that is very bad news or Republicans heading into next year's midterms.
Congressman, are you concerned of what President Trump might do to divert attention to try to rally and regain his base?
Well, we know that the president knows how to manipulate the masses. He knows how to distract people. And certainly yesterday he tried to make some big news on Jay Powell and what he might do there. And we know he's very good at that. But it just seems that because this issue is so fundamental to the movement that he created, I don't think that he will be able to fully distract his base, fully shift attention away from this issue without putting Pam Bondi out there and having her show more information, answer questions in a way that can satisfy a lot of these people.
Brandy, one thing that is not a conspiracy are the victims, the women who have been impacted, who've come forward, and what their intentions were in coming forward. And the DOJ memo said Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. 1,000. But now, are these brave women an afterthought?
An afterthought seems to consider that we'll ever think about them. I haven't heard any talk about them in any of this conversation. And that is a really sad thing. The whole point with the sweetheart deal in 2008 was that then Attorney General in Florida, Acosta, never consulted the women when he gave Jeffrey Epstein this non-prosecution agreement, when he got the sweetheart deal to...
And we say women, but these were underage women. They were not women at the time. They were still kids. They were teenagers.
These young women and girls who were abused by Jeffrey Epstein have always been sort of a character in this narrative and never at the forefront, except for, I would say, in the Miami Herald reporting where their stories were finally told. But before that and now, they're just sort of characters in this story that are just about, you know, the big male players that sort of roll around it. I think centering the victims, as you just did, is a really important thing. And I think we can continue to do that with this release of the Epstein files. I think keeping those victims in the forefront of our minds will be really, really key to what the rollout to releasing the Epstein files even looks like.